Hi, it's Ike from Groovy Entertainment. Today we got another book to read for you. Today, book of DuckTales, Send in the Clones for 1989. So let's get started. Scrooge McDuck owned all his wealth to his lucky dime. Old number one, his enemy, the witch Magic, the spell, wanted that dime, and she asked the Beagle Boys to help her get it. I want you to steal old number one, and nothing else, said Magic, standing outside Scrooge's mansion. Nothing else, she hissed. The witch cast a magic spell, and sparkling cloud fell over the Beagle Boys. When the cloud was gone, the Beagle Boys looked just like Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Perfect, laughed Magic. You look like Scrooge McDuck's nephews. Now go bring me back old number one. Don't worry, Chief, said Big Time Beagle. Remember, ordered Magic, stay away from the mirror. They'll show who you really are. Once inside, the disguised Beagle Boys ran into Scrooge. He was surprised to see them. I thought you was all at the movies, he said. Well, never mind. An important reporter is coming to interview me, so be good boys. All right, the Beagle nodded and ran upstairs. Just then, someone rang the doorbell. It was Mary Quell, the reporter from Duck Week. Welcome to my humble home, said Scrooge. I hope you'll just be yourself, said the reporter. There's no need to put on a show for us. Upstairs, the Beagle Boys started looking for old number one. Let's start in Scrooge's office, said Babyface. They found a safe set into the floor. Underneath the rug, Big Time blew it open with dynamite, but the explosion blew the floor open too. The safe and the Beagle Boy crashed down to the first floor. At that very moment, Mrs. Bigley, the housekeeper, walked into the room. What's going on here? She asked. I thought your uncle asked you to behave. Right behind the disguised Beagle Boys was a mirror. When Mrs. Bigley looked into it, she saw who the lady was. The poor lady screamed. Grab her, yelled Big Time. Meanwhile, the real Huey, Dewey, and Louie was coming home from the movies. They met their uncle and the reporter in the hall. Didn't I tell you to behave? Asked Scrooge. I just heard Mrs. Bigley scream. What have you been up to? But Uncle Scrooge, we wasn't here. We just got back from the movies, said Huey. More and me bagpipe. I never heard such a lie. What mess? Wait, what? Wait, what must Miss Quigley think? Go to your room. Having that reporter here must be making Uncle Scrooge nervous, said Louie. And they headed to the kitchen. Better not argue with him. Let's see if we can find any snacks. Meanwhile, Burger Beagley had stopped in the kitchen to raid the refrigerator. He was just about to start on a chocolate cake when Scrooge's nephew walked in. They could hardly believe their eyes. Hey, he looked like Huey, said a surprised Louie. Who is this fake? Asked Huey. You are the fake, replied Burger. I'm the real Huey. Burglar Bigley didn't fool anyone. The three brothers took him to their bedroom and tied him up. I'm going to get Uncle Scrooge, said the real Huey. You two try to find out why he's pretending to be me. Huey left the room. A minute later, Scrooge walked in. The reporter took one look at the fake Huey, all tied up and quickly took a few pictures for her newspaper. "What kind of game is this?" asked Scrooge, ashamed of his nephews. "What will Miss Corey think?" Meanwhile, Magic Dispel thought that the Bigley boys would taken too long to find old number one. "Those boys are only going to make things worse," she said to herself. "I have to find that coin myself." In moments, Magic looked exactly like Mrs. Bigley. "There," said the witch. "I can look for the coin and no one will bother me. And since the real Mr. Bigley is locked up in the shed, there won't be two Mr. Bigleys wandering around." Magic looked everywhere she could think of for Scrooge's lucky dime. When she walked into the library, her heart skipped a beat. There, sitting on a shelf in a glass case, was old number one. "It's mine at last," she cried. Then she heard someone enter the library. "I had found it," she said to the little duck in the red shirt. "Let's get out of here." But the little duck was the real Huey, not Burger Bigley. Something about Mrs. Bigley bothered Huey. Could she be a fake too? He decided to follow her. She led him into the shed, and Huey knew that he was right. The fake Dewey and Louie was guarding the real Mrs. Bigley. "Let's get out of here fast," ordered Magic, turning back into her real self. By the time they found out what have what have you done, and we'll be back at my hideout, safe and sound. They locked Mr. Bigley back up in the shed and raced for the helicopter that was waiting for them. After they took off, Magic turned her partner back into the Beagle Boys, but the one they called Burger didn't turn back because he was the real Huey. "Lightning and thunder," Magic cried. "This is one of Scrooge's nephews. Burger must still be in the house." Meanwhile, the fake Huey had turned back into Beagle. The reporter snapped her picture. "What is the meaning of this?" yelled Scrooge. "Tell us what's going on right now, or we'll leave you tied up for 3 weeks with no food." Burger couldn't stand the thought of going without food for so long, so he told them everything. Scrooge and the other rushed off to rescue Huey. Magic, meanwhile, was testing the coin she had taken from Scrooge's mansion. It wasn't number one. Suddenly, Scrooge broke into the hideout. "Let me nephew go," he ordered. "First give me old number one," said Magic. "The one I took was a fake." "If you love your nephew," she said, "you'll give me the right coin." "I'll give you Burger for Huey," offered Scrooge. "Keep him," said Magic. "He no use to me." Scrooge thought about trying to rescue his nephew by force, but it was no use. The Magic had too many magical powers, and the Beagle Boys could be dangerous. "You win," said Scrooge, handing her a coin. "Mine at last," Magic cried. Huey ran into his uncle's arms. "Let's get out of here," said Scrooge. The Beagle Boys let them go. They were celebrating Burger, who was the happiest because he didn't have to worry about going without food for 3 weeks. He danced around, bumping into the table, knocking magic potion all over. Soon the room was filled with smoke. From the helicopter, Scrooge and the other watched Magic hideout explode. "Magic kept your good luck coin, but I don't think it helped her," said the reporter. Scrooge laughed and took a coin from his pocket. "I never gave her the real old number one," said Scrooge. "I kept it for myself." "Hooray for Uncle Scrooge!" they all shouted. So that was DuckTales Sending the Clones from 1989. So if you like, subscribe, share, and comment. Have a groovy day with another video coming out real soon.